Hi guys, it's Belle here and I'm coming on to do a craft with me. This is nothing new. There's probably plenty of videos out there in this kind of thing, but I just wanted to share with you how I make mine and kind of my style and what I use them for. So today we're going to be making fabric snippets, three-ish types, and they're a great way to use up scraps, which you will see in a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is make some of these longer ones. I love using these in journals. They look great on the side of a page. You can use them as tabs as well. They look great as decoration on pockets. I like to use them, so I'll show you some of that. Then the normal snippets that you often see, which are using buttons. I've used a variety of different ones. That's a vintage button. There's a bit of a gothic one. There's a butterfly button. I've never really used these kind on my snippets before, but I was doing some examples, so I thought, why not? And then these smaller ones. Now, again, you could put these on a page. You could put these on a pocket or a tag, but these are more like the tabs. I like to put these on journaling cards, and I like to put them on tags. These I would put on the side of a page, but I have used these on large tags before, these kind of size, and these, like I said, would be more on the smaller tags and journaling cards. So, but really there's not much between the three crossover. So let's get started. So I tend to keep my scraps in three different ways. So firstly, I have this little pot that's full to bursting, and these are all my like super tiny random, like look at that, pieces, and these are great. Honestly, you can sit and do these in the evening whilst watching TV or with an audiobook on or anything like that. So I have that one. These are particularly good for these kind of snippets, the long ones and the ones that go on top of tags. They're particularly good for those. And then I have this bag, and this is more like larger pieces of scrap fabric that I have left over that won't really go, like these little squares, won't really go with my fabric bags, you know, away in my fabric drawer, but they're perfect, especially for the button ones. Perfect for that. And then the final scrappy one I have is this large A4 one. And this is for the longer pieces of lace that won't wrap around one of the cards that I keep a lot of my laces and sari silk on. These are perfect for the longer snippets, but they're big enough to still not go in the, like, look at that. That won't go around my card, but it would go along the side of a page. And so I keep those in here, and just because, and what I would do is if I'm making a journal, one of the first things I do is go through these first before cutting into a new piece of ribbon or lace to see if there's any colours that match. These ones are also really good. I often do them on card because you need a stronger backing. But let's get started. They're really simple, and the first ones we're going to make are the tag toppers. So we're going to make those first. I'm just going to make a few to show you what to do. So I'm going to look through here and look for like bits and pieces and see what might work. I like to have a plain backing where possible, just because it gives me variety of what I can then put on top, and then what I can like use them in, what kind of journals. That's going to be a button one, so we're going to move that over there. And yeah, just look through them, like that would probably work for a longer one. I'm picking out all the bits for other bits, and I'm losing bits and pieces everywhere. Let's turn it over and have a look. See, that's a Christmas one, but if once that's covered, you won't really see. So I'm going to cut that down to size, and then this will be the backing for our tags, maybe, unless I find another piece. Oh, we've got this little heart piece, but that's another long one. That would work really well. Let's move that over there because that's a long one. Yeah, these are just, I do have this. These are a bit of a nightmare to stitch through though, that's the only thing. But yeah, so you can do these different sizes. Realistically, like I said, they all kind of blend together. Oh, that is a good one. I'm going to use that one, and this one. That's what we're going to use. So now I'm just going to find some coordinating fabrics in here that I think, oh, that might go, or that might go. And we're just going to put them together. Like I like some of this flower fabric, but it's quite sheer. So that might work as a topping, but it's going to go beautiful on there. Look at that. Oh, and I found another one that I've made, which is just randomly in here. So let's put that over there too. I've obviously been making them and then forgetting that I had them. I love using the bits of sari silk that I have, bits and pieces like that, just because it uses them up. That's going to go on there. That would be a great autumnal one. Got this tiny piece of fabric which will also go, and I'm literally just putting coordinating fabrics that I think go really well together. I've got my little pin pot here because I will pin them together, and I feel like I want some lace or something on there. I like to put bits of lace just because it adds another interest. So that's really cute, and that will be a topper. Although this is the perfect size to also make one with a button. But there's our first one. We're making a few different ones. Tag toppers. Okay, so we've got this. Let's have a look now for colours for this. I'm wondering if we should do a brighter one. So yeah, I thought I'd come on and kind of share my process. That's a bit of random lace. I like that. My process with you guys. Just to kind of show you what I go through and do. I like that green on there. And because you probably, if you've seen, this has got a bulb pin in it. So I'm going to take that bulb pin out and put it in my little spare pot. If you've seen any of my journals, if you've been with me for a while and watched some of my journals, you will have seen me use, I'm wondering if I want some crochet on there. See, I like that, just like that. You will have seen me use a lot of fabric snippets, fabric on tabs and things, because it's kind of something I love using. I'm actually going to turn this one over because I don't need the red. I love that flower fabric, so I really want to use that again, I think. No, I might use that on one of the longer pieces. Let's just look through and see what I've got. Oh, I've got this gorgeous purple bit. Oh, that's just beautiful, just like that. It's just beautiful. But obviously, I'm going to add a bit more because it's me. Do I want some black on there? Oh, that's purple. That's shiny purple. Oh, I do love using up my sari silk scraps just because, let's face it, sari silk's expensive and beautiful, and there's no point wasting. You're not going to really see that on there. There's no point wasting sari silk scraps. Nope, I'm not liking that at all. I think I'm just liking that like that, but I want something in the background, like the green. I know you're probably thinking, why are you putting the green on there? But I use a lot of nature journals that have purples and greens in it, and I actually really like how that looks. Sorry, if I've been making this off camera, I'm sorry. If I've been down here and you haven't been able to see, sorry about that. Absolutely sorry about that if I've been to remind myself. So I'm just going to have that like that. And there's our 3 tabs done. So let's move these out of the way. 3 tabs. Okay, let's do the long ones because I've already got a long piece here. And I've got another long piece here. And now I've got this one. I kind of wanted it bigger because I like them longer. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because I can't find one the size I want, I'm literally dropping fabric everywhere. I'm going to look in my long piece box because I know I'm going to have something in here. And I'm going to find, like I said, a base. I like a stronger, I mean, that's really cute, but that would go on the edge of a, I'm always thinking ahead, that would go on the edge of a, there you go. Right, that's going to be perfect. Just use this. Okay. So we've got wider ones, a smaller one, and this long one, because why not? And then we can just add things to it. Now, I definitely think I want to go back and get some of this because I just love this fabric. I just think that would look so pretty on there, like so. And then let's have a look and see what other fabrics we've got. Got some yellow, that'll probably go on here. Let's cover up those hearts. Got this beautiful green, that might go with the flowers actually. Or we could just do it on there. Got a bit of lace. Literally, don't overthink it. I might go in that one. I quite like it on there, but I need to see what else is on there first. Got this piece of crochet, that'd go on there. Yeah, just don't overthink the process. There's just no need to overthink. Try not to hum and ha too much about it because it's easy to overthink and get lost, and then you think, oh no, it's taken me forever. And these are meant to just be little snippet things that you've put together. Like that one will work, that'll be fine. And then let's look at these two. What have I got? So my little pot, lots of bits have come out. I feel like I want this one to almost be autumnal, so I'm doing some autumn colours. I've got this beautiful flower piece here. Let's cut some of this down. That'd work on there. Let's have a look. I like that little piece. Literally snippets. Literally just adding bits and pieces. That's too thick. Just remember what your sewing machine can handle, because if you have things too thick, it's obviously not going to be able to handle the thickness, so you don't want to go breaking needles and things. See, I've even got this little snippet that would work on something like this. There's a bit that's just been cut off another piece of snippet by the looks of things. I honestly keep too much of everything. I want something kind of dulling down that yellow a little bit because it's very bright. Okay, I like that. So that one's done, that one's done. So now we're going to work on this one, which is super pretty and not my style. So I need to add some of my, like I do like some of that green. Some of my kind of what I know I will use in a journal. Because I like the roses. Let's not do the whole thing. Let's not cover it all up. Just add some roses. I'm probably going to add some sari silk because I add sari silk to most things. If I can find any in here. Got this beautiful trim. Look at that. That would work really well on something. Anyway, sari silk. Where are you? Let's just look through. Oh, should be able to find plenty in this snippet drawer. I mean, we do have some pink, but I really don't use pink a lot, so I don't want to be adding. There's a piece of sari silk. I don't want to be adding pink because I know I'm not going to use a lot of pink in the journals. Maybe some more crochet. Crochet and lace helps with these snippets all the time, I find. Just adding a little piece. Maybe like that. No, that's too white. I think that's the problem. I'm finding things that are too white. Oh, I've got this piece. Okay, I'm going to leave them like that. Oh, I got this lace out actually. Let's see if I like that on there. Okay, I do. I like the lace. So we're going to go for that. So now we've got our 3 long snippets that are great to put on pockets and things. Now I've got to try and piece these together. This one's super chunky. I'm going to move that up a little bit to cover that heart up. But, you know, I like it. I'm not getting all the pieces in there, but it doesn't matter because we're going to stitch them. Now, obviously, if you do not have a sewing machine, you have 2 options. You can hand stitch these. That's completely come off. It'll be all right. Or you can glue them together. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so now we're going to go for, and this is where this bag comes in handy. Now we're going to go for the button ones. I like to do mine rectangular and square. I tend to do mine quite large. I've seen a lot of people do them very small. I don't do small. Again, if you see my journals, I tend to do chunky and I tend to like things to be larger. So let's make sure they're all on camera as I was off camera. Bad me. And we're just gonna, I've got some of these that look great on there. That's a leaf of some sort. I'm just going to add, again, just add in snippets. I've got some of this. That'll look pretty. I seem to be going for autumn, guys. This needs to be turned around because it's fiddly to work with. I'm going to make another one with some of this fabric on there just because I've got other things in this fabric, and that means that if I make a large journal, I have some matching pieces, which is always good. Or coordinating, I should say. Look, there's just some random green there, like that. Thinking I might want some of this on something. Don't know. Got this bit of green. That'd go on this one, I think. And again, just put them wherever looks nicest to you. Random bit of lace. That would have gone better on one of these, I think. But I might put it on there. And yeah, you can see how quickly these can come together because realistically, you don't have to overthink anything. You just have to put stuff down and go for it. I'm going to move that off there, actually. That's going to go on there, but I might put that on there just because we've got it on the other thing as well. Just what way do I want it? I feel like I want it straight. I've got to sew a button on here, and I'm just trying to think where the buttons would go and how it would look realistically. Okay, that's going to go on there. Now we need to rework on this one. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Work on the other one, Belle. So we've got some colour on there. I know a lot of people make them in neutrals as well. Yeah, I might want to have some of this. This is some hand-dyed lace. I hand-dyed it ages ago. And I just haven't really used it, so. And here's some fun fabric. So I thought I'd use it on here. Everyone makes theirs differently. I really struggle with doing random angles and things just because I want everything to be neater. That looks quite good. I feel like I want a bit of lace on there now. A bit of lace always just makes everything pop a little bit. There's a bit more of this on there. No, that's too thick. Some of this lace, which I feel like is too thin. Too thick, too thin. I feel like I'm Goldilocks. Looking for the bit that's just right. I feel like that's too white. Okay, come on, you know you're in here somewhere. Just, oh, and sometimes I like to add dangles as well. So this is like dangly. And it would just kind of, because it's a trim, it would just kind of hang. Sometimes I do that. Oh, this bit's got a bit of green flower on it, actually. Wondering if that's quite good on there. Nope. What about on here? Nope, because we can't see as much of the lace then. Right, none of that. Okay, so come on, there must be a piece. Ah, here we go. Something like this might be nice. There, done. Woo-hoo! Didn't overthink too much. Did overthink a little. Didn't do it too much. Okay, now I've got to move all these pieces. Yeah, got to move them all. Okay, now those are pinned together, but that's okay. So what I like to do, guys, is I like to stitch even on the ones with buttons. You can see a bit of the stitching. Like if I turn it to the back, you might be able to see it, hopefully. Let's try and find one that is easier to see. That's got a bit of stitching on the back there, see? Just along there, because I think it adds a bit more dimension. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch all these using my sewing machine, and then I will come back and we can go from there. Okay guys, so sorry about that. So I'm back. So on some of these I've actually stitched twice because they're larger pieces. I like to leave some threads because, oh, that's my style. I like fraying. That bit's not stuck on. So in that case, I think this is going to be the button one anyway. So that's okay because you can glue them. And once I put the button on there, it's going to stitch it down. So I'm going to move the button ones off to the side. Here's one of the long ones. There. It's another long one. Lots of threads on that. So much fun. Look at that. That's lovely and grungy. So that's how that looks. There was another long one. Where is it? Oh, this one. And this one I've double stitched as well because it was quite thick and quite long. So there are long ones. Then we have one to go on top of a tag. I'm trying to remember which ones were the button. This was one of the button ones, and I believe this one was the other button one. Yeah, I think so. Although I'm looking at this now, that'd work as a button. Okay, so these two as well. And then these will be toppers. Yeah, that works out best. Okay, move that needle pin before I get stabbed in it. So let's move those and move those. So now we're gonna find some buttons to go on here, and I have my vintage button tin. This has lots of vintage buttons in, but it also has modern ones. I just picked this all up. I've added to it, but I've picked it up in a charity shop. So now we're gonna look, you know what, I'm gonna move them this side so that you don't get the shadow. So now we're going to look for buttons that might work. Like this is a brown, and I really like that. I think that would go on there, kind of thing. Possibly. I like to put between 1 or 2 buttons on, depending. I feel like that needs a brown button, or that one, because that's autumnal, isn't it? And that's a really pretty vintage button. But maybe we want to pop a colour. Got some of these. That might work better on there. I think I like the darker brown. And this is where it can take far too long because you get stuck looking like, look at that beautiful vintage one. Let me get that up there. That might look good on there actually. You can get stuck going backwards and forwards trying to find the right button. Maybe we want to pop a colour. I mean, I don't have a lot of pops of colour. in this one. I do have another drawer full of buttons that are slightly brighter. I've got that green, that's too bright a green. So, oh, sorry. Throwing buttons all around here. Have we got that? That's a really nice one, actually. That might go nicely on there. I like it on there, so we're going to put it on there. We still need buttons for here. And size depends on what you want. See, that's really beautiful. That's a vintage one. Size depends. Sometimes I like to put 2 buttons on. Sometimes I like to put 1. Depends how big the piece is. That's a little vintage button too. Oh, that's super sweet. But I still don't know if I like this one. See, this is a really thick button, so that doesn't necessarily work because you don't want it too thick if it's going to be, see, that would have gone on there. But realistically, I don't use pink very often, so no. It's no good putting a colour on that I know I'm not going to use and then it's just going to sit and not be used. See, that's that button again. Just keep going back to the same button. So I think I like that, and I think I like that. I don't know what it is. It could be black, it could be green. Might go on there actually. Or, oh, I've just seen one. Got that little button. Oh, I like that on there. And it's got like the stitch lines around it. Although, no, let's go with that one. And again, it's just complete personal taste. I often like to use those, but do you know what? I think I'm going to use that one because we've got a green one. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. If I used this one, I feel like it would need a second button up there, like another white one. That's what I feel like if I used it, I need a white one down there, sort of like that. That's what I feel like. We've got that there. I do have this pink one, but again, I'm not going to use pink. Oh, that really pretty brown one. Oh, I think I like that brown one. We do have a flower, a white flower one. That's cute. Okay, I think I'm done. So now again, there's 2 ways of doing this. You can, if you're not comfortable hand sewing, you can glue the buttons on. I know a lot of people do that, but I like to hand stitch them, and I love using this. This is a vintage thread in this really pale sage green that's all like aged, that my friend sent me. It's aged because it's vintage, and I love using this because it's just the palest shade of sage green, so it almost looks white and you can barely tell that it's not white. And again, that same friend who sent me this also sent me this, looking for the right needle, I need a long needle, also sent me this handmade needle book. And I like to use the loop method, which is what I do in cross stitch. So I double up my thread, leaving a loop at the end. Hold on, can you see that? I can't tell if you can see that. Where is it now? Having a loop at the end, and then push it through. And this way I get no bulky knot because I will put my needle through that loop and close it up. And that's again, like I said, that's something that I learnt from cross stitching. So that's how I do it. And yeah, just adding that vintage thread for me, you know, it probably doesn't matter to anyone else, but to me it's just that added extra vintage bit. And I'm getting to use up this beautiful thread that I'm absolutely in love with. It's just that added extra bit of vintage Even in the snippets I sell, because I do sell snippets like these in my shop, which there is a link down below. Even the snippets I sell, I use the vintage thread on them. Just makes them that bit more unique. There's some vintage buttons, there's some vintage fabric, and there's some vintage thing. And there you go. That's how quickly one of those come together. So I'm going to stitch the rest now. You're not going to want to see me do that probably. I might do it and just, you can fast forward. And I might pause it. But again, loop method, double up the thread. I use the one piece of thread for both buttons if I'm doing a double button piece. So I'll use it for this thread, this one. And again, I just put the thread through the loop at the back. I say whilst trying to do this when I can't see the thread because it's almost the colour of the fabric. And that just secures it without having to tie a knot, without having to fiddle and hold an extra piece, without any of that thing. For cross stitches, it also makes the back of your cross stitch exceedingly neat, which I know sounds a weird thing, but there is a lot of us who cross stitch out there who get a sense of pride for the neatness. So yes, still using the same piece. I'm just going to stitch this on now. Yeah, there's a lot of us cross stitchers out there who get a sense of pride when the back of your piece is neat as possible, which isn't always possible, especially if you're doing a lot of back stitch and French knots and other techniques. But yeah, that's why I like using the method. And then I just crossed it over onto my stitch, crossed it over. I just moved the technique and used it on any stitching I do in my journals. And then, yeah, just double it through a few times and do a nice knot. Theoretically, you're going to be sticking these into a journal anyway. So there's no need to be super worried about tying 3, 4, 5 knots, or even messing about with too much back stitching. But if you are worried about that, then again, just doing the loop method, then use some glue on the back, some glue that dries clear. Use it on the back with your thread to just secure it if you're worried. And I said I was going to fast forward or whatever, but do you know what? It's also good for you to see just how quick this can come together and happen. And again, placement of buttons, style of buttons, that's all down to individual personal taste. However you feel you want, well, the look you're going for. Same with your fabrics. Obviously, you should have a lot of fabrics in your stash that you enjoy working with because they're scraps from other projects that you've done, which is why a lot of mine are either a lot of darker gothic colours or a lot of natural neutrals from my grungy nature journals. Yeah, and it is literally that quick to stitch them on and you're done. Oh, throw the scissors at myself, that's not good. And there they are. So these are all the pieces we have made. So let me show you how I would use them in a journal. I've got this journal here because it's literally to hand, because I just filmed a flip through, so you probably would have seen it. And I've used a lot of these fabric tabs in this journal, which is why I thought about, so say here you might want one of the longer pieces. So this is a pocket. You might want one of the longer pieces to just add a bit of fabric onto the pocket, or even onto, if you've got a scrappy pad, you add one onto the scrappy pad. It works brilliantly. Let's see if I can find another. Or this pocket here's got nothing on it. So imagine adding a fabric snippet to this bit here. It just looks so pretty, depending on the size, depending on the colors. That looks beautiful. And then obviously I've used fabric snippets on these journaling cards. So that would be these types, which is the tabs, as you can see. Just add it for a tab, for a tag, for a journaling card. I've added another one on there as a tab. You could add it onto the side here to add it onto a piece of paper. It just looks so lovely. There's another idea. Just looks so lovely on. So this is a journaling card. Obviously I've already put something on here, but I could have added a tab. So that is the tabs and the large page. Even on this bit that's a pocket, imagine adding one of the page bits on there. And even though it's a pocket and there's nothing sticking out, just look how pretty that looks. That one's too big. But yeah, look how pretty that looks, just adding a tab onto that pocket there. Just adding a little tab. It looks cute. And then if we can find a page that hasn't got anything on it, then you could add one of the buttons, like so. They just attach. Where'd the other button go? There it is. They just attach onto the side of a page in a journal, and they just look so good. Or on either side, like here. Obviously that's not the right colour, but say you added one there. Or even if you've got a plainer page like this, you could add the larger fabric snippet down the side of it. I just think they're wonderful. They bring so much texture to your journals. Like, just look at the side of that or the top of it. They bring texture. You're using up your snippets and your fabric pieces. They come together really, really quickly. There are long ones. There are those, and these are our tabs. And these are the other ones that I've obviously made. And they just come together so quickly, and they look yummy, and they feel yummy. So there we go, guys. That was I hope that was useful to some of you, or any of you. I hope you enjoyed this craft with me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know the ways you use your fabric scraps down below. There's obviously making snippet rolls as well, which I also love to make large snippet rolls and then use them as belly bands and ephemera, or cut them up and use them as tabs on tags as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you crafted along with me. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are safe. And I hope you're having some crafty fun, guys. Till next time, bye for now.